Hello everybody and welcome to the United Stand. This is your Manchester United versus Roma preview plus an update on Jadon Sancho coming in from Germany about the transfer deadline that Dortmund will set this summer because they like to set those, what sort of price they'll be looking at. Some good news on Anthony Martial and also some interesting news. I sort of been talking about this for a little bit while about the Glazers, and I do want to bring it in with a bit of evidence today as well about not only are they bad and we want them out, but also that they're bad in a different way. I mean, look, they do spend money and they do take money out of the club, but if they were actually decent at being businessmen taking money out of the club, we'd be in a better situation anyway. The reality is they're just bad owners all round, in my opinion. So we'll talk about that. Just want to shout out Aidan, Nasra, Ricky, and David Hunt as well, members. I don't always notice the members in the chat, but I noticed them before we came live there. So thanks to the members who support the channel. You can do that by clicking the join button as well. You get a little badge next to your name. So shout out to them. But let's start off with, we're going to talk about the Roma game. Look, in a sentence, we will go through. There is no jinxing on this. They've got to score 4 goals without reply, or 5 goals, 5-1, 4-0. It's not going to happen. It's not going to happen. We've got too many good players and Roma have got a lot of injury problems. They lost to Sampdoria at the weekend. But we'll go through some of it. But basically, I want to talk about Sancho first. But trust. Trust is the issue here with Ollie. He needs to trust some of these lads and give them an opportunity. If you can't trust them, for me, it's almost the perfect opportunity because there is a game here against Roma, which is an important game, but we've got a 4-0 lead. Can you trust Alex Telles, Donny van der Beek and Eric Bailly in those games? 3 international players. Of course you can. Let them have a game. We've got a big game against Villa on Sunday now because with that game in hand with Liverpool now not there, it's almost like we've lost that game because when are we going to play it? We don't want pressure from behind us. It's literally it's like Thursday night and then Sunday lunchtime. That's no turnaround at all, and we've got to travel. So he needs to make changes against Roma, and I hope he does. Martial is back. We're going to talk about that in a moment, but I just want to talk about Jadon Sancho. So we spoke about Sancho this morning. The Sancho transfer hots up. Look, I'm not going to even go into this. You know what my feelings about this are. 1, I won't believe it till he holds the shirt up, and 2, I just think it's the Glazers trying to win our trust back by signing a marquee signing. So that's my feeling about it. I said, was it Friday night before all this really started coming out? I'd spoken to my guy and he'd said, look, Sancho looks like the player they'll go for if they're going to do a marquee signing. It's logical, it makes sense, and now, lo and behold, it's all coming out now. Now, from Build, what they're saying is that there is a transfer deadline again. Remember last year they said that they set a deadline of August the 8th, and obviously Sancho didn't leave, so maybe Dortmund were true about that. Apparently this time, according to German reports, the deadline will be July, end of July, and the fee they are looking for is 85 to 90 million euros. Now, in the current rate of exchange, 90 million euros is around 78 million pounds. So I remember saying this last summer, Man United won't pay any more than 75. I think if they sign Sancho, it will be 75 million. The transfer market this summer, the dates have not been set, but it's going to kick in at about, I would say, the end of May until the end of August. So if Dortmund are saying the end of July, that gives them a month to sort out a replacement. So, I mean, look, I've got no issues with that. I had no issues with Dortmund's deadlines last year. We just messed up. We underestimated. So, look, 75 million. HYS Football, thanks. I did notice it, and fair play. He says, thanks, Mark, for the retweet. Means a lot. You're amazing. Keep doing what you're doing. Big up, mate. And your clip was fantastic, so well done. So, yeah, it's, I think, 75 million for Sancho before the end of July. You know, that'll be done. But as I said this morning, this is probably music to United's ears because they know they've got the 75 million. They have got that money. They've got 75 million for Sancho. The next step is to spend the next May, June, July hyping this up ridiculously, coincide it with a new kit launch and make a massive deal out of it and make everyone forget about the Glazers. And I think that's what we'll see over the next 3 months. Spin, spin, spin. Spin, spin, spin. So I think it, you know, it wouldn't surprise me if it did happen. And yeah, look, what I don't want to do, because we're all very pissed off at the moment about the Glazers and we want them out, what I don't want to do is not say that Sancho's a good player. He's a fantastic player. We should have bought him last summer, and if we do bring him to the club, actually, can I just say that? It's a very good point. We should have got Sancho last summer. So going, oh, look, here's Jadon. Why is no one talking about this? Oh, look, Sancho's our big signing. I mean, I've nearly mugged myself off here live. What the hell am I thinking about? How is this the Glazers winning the fans back? This is a signing we should have made last summer. We're being mugged off even more. So not only are they going to say, look at the marquee signing of Jadon Sancho. Ooh, look at him in the number 7 shirt. Buy the shirt. We're back, baby. The Glazers. We're here. We're here to support the club. We're back in the club. Look, here's Jadon Sancho. We should have bought him last year. It's like getting a PS4 when the PS5's out. Like, I'm not, and in no way am I not, Jadon Sancho's a good player, but what I'm saying is in relation to the signing, it should have happened they're using last year's signing as the marquee signing this year. They're manipulators, I'm telling you. Although they haven't even bought him yet. But it's true, isn't it? If we fall into the trap of the Sancho deal, we're basically bigger mugs than we thought, because this is the signing that was meant to happen last year. We're all going to celebrate it. Yeah, we're back. And it's the signing we should have done last year. Mad, absolutely madness. But look, before we talk about the Roma game and Martial and everything as well, Sancho would be a good signing for United. I think we all agree with that. But it sort of fits into something I did want to say as well. You know, we've got to be really careful here. If we sign Sancho, this was the signing of last year. So what are we getting excited about? We've got to keep these things in our head about what they're doing, because it's repackaging something they should have done last year. But let me just be fair here. I always like to look at both sides, and I think it's really important for any sort of content to try and look at both sides, even though you may sit on one side. I was thinking about this morning, and I tweeted it on @MarkGoldbridge, and you can see the thread I did. And the thread basically was to say that there are hidden costs in the Glazers' incompetence. Yes, they've put us into debt. Yes, they don't know nothing about football. And yes, they've taken over £1 billion out of the club. And yes, they've spent 800, 900 million pounds badly. But there's another cost as well. There's another cost here. And look, one example of that is Ander Herrera. Walked out of the club for nothing. £25 million player. £25 million lost. Alexis Sanchez reportedly cost us over £70 million across his contract. That's another 70 million. So that's 100 million wasted off two players, Sanchez and Herrera. Di Maria, bought him for 60 million, sold him for 45 a year later. 15 million lost. 115 million. Phil Jones, been injured 4 or 5 times in the 2 years before we gave him a 5-year contract where he's been missing for over a year. 20 million over the contract. You're getting close to 150 million pounds wasted on 4 things that are nothing to do with signings. 150. And then De Gea. David De Gea. Look, apparently we're going to sell David De Gea in the summer. David De Gea, right? Not even 2 years. The ink's not even wet on the 5-year deal we gave him. £350,000 a week. Our best paid player. Not even 2 years into his 5-year deal, and we're going to sell him. He's a £50 million player. He's 30 years of age. 30 years of age for a goalkeeper is prime. He's got another 8-10 years left. £50 million player. £350,000 a week. Not even 2 years in to a contract he signed under this manager. So it's not a Mourinho mistake. It's under Ollie. Not even 2 years in, and they're talking about selling a player. Now, that's fine. I don't really care if we go with Henderson. I'd prefer De Gea, but it's not about the player. I'm talking about the money. The bad decisions we make. Pereira, Mata, everything else, right? Who's going to give David De Gea 350k a week and give us 50 million? It's not going to happen. So what's going to happen with De Gea is we need to get rid of you. He wants to go because he's been told he's second place, apparently. Somebody comes in and says, well, we'll give you 20 million, but if we're paying his wages, you can have 20 million, that's it. We lose 30 million. So people can go, oh yeah, let's get rid of De Gea, let's keep Henderson. But it's a shit business decision and it costs us money. And look, I wouldn't like the Glazers anyway, because they've put us in debt. They take money out of the club and they take their dividends. But that would be bad. But the worst thing is they're bad owners as well. Like, I don't want owners who are just about business. But I wish they were. But if we're going to have owners that are business, I wish they were good business owners. And what I mean by that is they just don't care. They don't even care about being good business owners. They could make more money if they were good at what they do. They're just greedy business people who don't actually care. As long as they get 20 million dividends a year, as long as the debt stays the same, and as long as the value of the club goes up, they're not bothered. They don't even care about actually making more money. Because and what I mean by that is they make the money and that's all they're bothered about. They don't actually care about the club anyway, but they don't actually care about making more money. They could make more money and the club would be better off. And what I mean by that is the money they waste. That 800 million that they've spent over the last 10 years has been spent badly. Those decisions I've just told you about, the De Gea one, the Herrera one, the Di Maria one, the Sanchez one, the Jones one, and there's loads more. They're bad decisions that cost them money, but they don't care. And that's another irritant for me, is that we lose loads of money and they still take money out, so they're happy. But imagine if they didn't lose all that money, they'd have more money to take out. Or we could spend it better. So it's not just about the Glazers putting us in debt and taking money out. It's the incompetence as well. Woodward's going to leave in the summer. The Glazers might be here for another year, 10 years. They'll replace Woodward with another incompetent prat who knows nothing, who will keep making stupid decisions like we've done for the last 10 years. If they put in somebody who knew something about football, they could still take their dividends, but we'd spend the money that they do give us better. And we'd make less stupid decisions around people like Ander Herrera or Alexis Sanchez. And that's what I'm talking about. They're bad owners anyway, but they're bad owners on a totally different level, because you might have a business owner who, yeah, they want to take dividends, but they employ football people because they don't want to see leakage of money anyway. We leak so much money because we've got bad owners who appoint bad people in relation to football. And I don't know whether this comes across properly, but what I'm saying is the Glazers could still take 20 million dividend a year, they could still have us in debt, and we could still lose $1 billion from interest payments, etc. But we could spend the money they do give us better, and we could stop making stupid decisions around giving people massive contracts, then trying to sell them 2 years later. So they compound their badness as owners by appointing bad people on the board. The Glazers could own this football club, and we could be a lot better, even with the debt and the money that they take out, because not only does that money go out, the money they do give to be spent gets absolutely wasted on stupid decisions. It's like a double blow, really. You got the slap in the face that the Glazers owners, and you got the slap in the face from the people who actually run the club for them. And I don't know why the Glazers have never woken up to that. And I think it's because they don't care. As long as they get their 20 million, and as long as the stock price goes up, and as long as the price of the club goes up, they just don't care enough to even think, you know what, we could make a little bit more money if we got football people in to run the club. We don't give them more money to spend, but they deal with that money better. But they don't care. They just genuinely don't care. So, you know, it is what it is. Apparently Jose Mourinho's going to Roma. Let's have a quick look at that. You know what, that doesn't surprise me. That doesn't surprise me. I think that it's a bit unfortunate in the case of Fonseca, but Jose Mourinho is the new ace Roma. He is signed until June 24. Maurizio Sarri has never been an option. So next season, he's not. For a minute there, I thought Mourinho was going to be in charge for the game on Thursday. Imagine that. Oh my God. So Mourinho will be in charge of Roma next season. That's quite interesting. That is quite interesting, actually. So let me just have a quick look at the quote on that. He doesn't mess about, does he? He doesn't mess around. So he will take over next season. Not for Thursday. We're going to talk about the Roma game now. So Manchester United playing Roma on Thursday. Obviously, we're 6-2 up from the first leg, and Roma would need to win 4-0. So yeah, we'll talk about that and the team selection I've gone with there. But rather interestingly, Jose Mourinho will be the new manager of Roma from next season. This doesn't impact on Manchester United for Thursday, but it's interesting. Well, look, Mourinho's linked to Manchester United, isn't he? Roma, we play on Thursday. He's going to manage them next season. There's not really a lot going on there, I suppose. But I mean, I said when Man United got rid of Mourinho that Serie A was the place he needed to go. It suits him. It's a defensive league. It's a little bit slower, and I think he'll probably do quite well there, Mourinho. I'd be interested to watch what he does at Roma next year, because it will suit him very well. Remember, he bought Mkhitaryan as well. He bought Mkhitaryan and then swapped him for Sanchez, to be fair, but Chris Smalling, I can't remember how Smalling was treated under Mourinho. I think he quite liked Smalling, didn't he? It was Ollie who stopped using Smalling and got rid of him. So, be interesting. It's going to be interesting. But I think that I did say that Mourinho. I mean, it's not rocket science, is it? Mourinho and Serie A, it's probably the one place he can go. I don't think he'd even suit. He wouldn't suit La Liga now. His style of football is archaic in the sense that it doesn't work in the Premier League. It doesn't work in La Liga. But I think it would work in Serie A. A little bit more tactically defensive, a little bit slower. I think Mourinho suits that. So it'd be interesting to see him. It's not a massive job, Roma, is it? But it's the sort of job where, you know, a bit like a Spurs. Roma are probably a bit like a Spurs of Serie A. So, you know, maybe that's the level as well. So, be interesting to see what he does at Roma, Mourinho. But not going to be in charge of this game on Thursday. This is for next season. Fonseca's going to leave. Which is a bit unlucky on for Fonseca, but ambition from Roma, I suppose. I mean, let's bring it to the present. Fonseca will be in charge on Thursday. They lost 2-0 to Sampdoria at the weekend. They've lost 3 of their last 4 Serie A games, and obviously they've lost to us in that time as well. They did very well in Europa League. They played 5 games against Braga, 6 games against Braga, Shakhtar and Ajax, and they won 5. So they were very good in the Europa League, but Serie A not been so good, and obviously they decided to make the change. They're not going to come back against Manchester United. I know there was a famous result a couple of years ago against Barcelona where they came back from, was it 3-0 or 4-0 down? But they're not going to do it against United. They've got so many injury problems. They're not playing particularly well at the moment. And the reality is, Manchester United and the Premier League is just streets ahead of Serie A at the moment. So what I want to see in this game, and look, Anthony Martial is back. Anthony Martial is back training. He was back training yesterday. He will not be available for the Roma game or the Villa game, but there is an expectation that Martial will be back for the last few games of the season. Matic could be off to Roma as well, says Robert McCormack. Again, that would be a very good move. Matic to Roma would be a very good deal for Mourinho, and he would do very well at that level. I think that's a good shout, Robert McCormack, actually. Mourinho to Roma could mean, you know, Fellaini goes there as well. But from a Manchester United point of view, I think Matic, Roma, Mourinho, again, Matic would suit Serie A. A little bit slower, a little bit more tactical. Matic would be perfect. So that's a good call. Let's see if that happens. But in relation to the game on Thursday night, Martial will not be back. Should be back for the last few games of the season. Interestingly, Ollie said when the injury happened that Martial seems to think he'll be back, but Ollie didn't really think that would happen. So Martial obviously knows his body better than Ollie, which you would hope. You wouldn't want Ollie. Well, let's leave it at that. So yeah, Martial back. Obviously, big aim for Martial will be the Euros, but he's a player that makes us better. I know he's not had a good season, but hungry to get back, hungry for the Euros, another player available. I think that's a good thing. But in relation to the game on Thursday, I was thinking about this, and I don't know what everybody else thinks, but look, my score prediction straight off the bat is that Manchester United will win this game. I think we'll win it maybe 2-3-1. Over the course of, I mean, somebody said we'll have a 10-goal aggregate. We may well. I don't think Roma are that good, and I think, how do they approach a game like this? You know, 4 is unrealistic. You've got to try and attack, and I think we can just hurt them on the break. So the team I've selected, we've got a big game against Aston Villa on Sunday. The reality is that come Sunday, we could have Chelsea and Leicester right up our backside in relation to the league table. So we think we've got second place nailed down. But if you actually look at the league table, and I'll bring it up, well, I won't bring it up on the screen because I haven't got the ability to do that, but I can certainly tell you what the Premier League table looks like. And we've got 67 points at the moment. Now, we've got a game in hand on Chelsea and we've got a game in hand on Leicester. But both those teams, Leicester play on Friday night and Chelsea play Man City on Saturday. So that's a really big game. But in relation to if Chelsea were to beat Man City, which they have done before, they'd go to 64 points. If Leicester win, they'd go to 66 points. And yeah, we've got 2 games in hand, but it's only 3 and 1 point behind. And let's not forget, West Ham are in the race as well. Man United are going to get top 4, but I want to get second. I think it would be a real disappointment for Manchester United to not get second. So Villa's a big game. It kicks off at 2 o'clock on Sunday. This game against Roma is 8 o'clock on Thursday. That's literally nearly, I mean, it's 2 days and a half and you've got to travel. So there's got to be rotation in one of these 2 games. Now, that doesn't mean there will be rotation. As we've seen with Ollie, he'll probably put McFred in midfield, Pogba, Bruno, Rashford, Cavani, and the same back four, and pick the same team for two times. But I just think, and I don't know whether people agree, I just think with this game on Thursday against Roma, it's a great opportunity. What an opportunity. You've got Telles, Bailly, Van der Beek. They're the main three. They're all internationals. They've all been underused this season. You're playing Roma. You've got a 4-goal difference. You can make 5 substitutions. Pick those 3 from the start. Show a bit of trust and faith. Bailly signed a new contract. Telles and Van der Beek will both be here next year. Not using them. Why? Give them a chance in an opportunity in a semi-final where you're basically home and hosed, but there's a little bit of a risk. But you know what? Go out and express yourselves and win me the game. I think it's a perfect game to make some changes and show some trust and reward for players that, let's be honest, one way or another, haven't played as much as they should have done. I'm not saying they should have started all the time, but they should have had a few more minutes. If he goes with a strong team against Roma and just goes, I'm going to start off strong, but I'll bring you on for the last 10 minutes. Why? Villa's a big game 2.5 days later. This game is basically over. Give Bruno a rest, give Luke Shaw a rest, and give Rashford a rest. Rashford's had nearly 2 weeks now, hasn't he? So give them a rest. Put Donny where Bruno is, put Telles where Shaw is, and play Bailly instead of Lindelof. And get 3 players that are going to be part of the team next season. Some game time, make them feel part of it. And look, they might surprise you, Ollie. What if Bailly has a worldie? What if Telles has a worldie? And what if Van der Beek has a worldie? Suddenly you've got great options going into the crucial last few weeks of the season. And let's not forget as well, that Liverpool game's got to be slotted in. So we're going to end up playing something like, we're going to be playing a game in May. We're going to be playing a game, presuming we get to the final, a game every 3 days. Something like stupid like that. You can't pick the same 11 a game every 3 days. We'll burn out like we did at the end of last season. So I really want to see changes. Do I think it'll happen? God, no. I think he'll give them the second half or something like that. But this game is over, and I think personally, I just think it would be really exciting and also really important for Ollie to say, look, I do trust you. We're 4-0 up anyway, basically. I trust you. Go out there, express yourselves. They're going to come at us, but I trust you to get the job done. If he starts with Bruno and he starts with Luke Shaw and he starts with McFred, what he's basically saying to Van der Beek, Telles and Bailly is, even in this situation, I don't trust you. I'll give you half an hour when the game's definitely over. But look, I just think it would be galvanising. I think it would be positive, and I think it would be beneficial to people like Bruno or Pogba. You could rest Pogba if you wanted to, but like Bruno, like Rashford, like Luke Shaw, I think it'd be beneficial because they're all going to play in the Euros as well. I mean, that's nothing to do with United, by the way, but I just think I would. Mark, if Spotify buys us, our first buy will be Grealish, and I think we'll finish higher than you next season. Zane, I seem to remember you've been saying this before. I think that I don't care whether it's Spotify or bloody Elon Musk or NASA or whoever. You ain't getting off the ground. Jose's gone to Roma. Yeah, we've spoken about that. Would you play DJ and Axel as well, says Advath? Look, I did think about putting Twan Sebi in at right back. And I did think about putting Dan James on the wing. But then that's 5 changes. And I don't want to... Look, it's not like Ollie's going to take any bloody notice anyway. But I sort of didn't make that many changes to sort of go, look, Ollie's never going to make 5 changes anyway. But he could make 3 key changes. Start Telles, Twan Sebi and Van der Beek. And give him a bit of trust. And I think that's realistic. Whether he'll do it or not, probably not. Sorry, off topic, but have you picked your England squad for Euros on your other channel? I haven't yet, Chunk. I did pick it, but I'm going to do a new one now that we've got a 26-man squad. Twan Sebi, Bailly, Diallo, Van der Beek. Ollie does not play them, says Paul. We won't finish second as Liverpool look to be awarded the win, plus we are going to get points deducted. We're not going to get points deducted, Wayne. We're not going to get points deducted. This game will be a containment job, says Annie. Well, look, I think that Manchester United will score goals. I've spoken about Mourinho to Roma. I think Manchester United will score goals in this game because Roma will have a go at us and we will hit them on the break. This is the perfect game for Ollie now. And Roma played very well in the first half, but second half, they got tired. They couldn't make any subs. And we put them to the sword, and I think we'll do it again. Mark, great job. I also almost want the Glazers to spend nothing this summer. I feel like, much like you, that if they sign Sancho, Rice, etc., a lot of the fans are going to jump on board, says James. Just in relation to that, watch out on social media this evening probably around 5, 6, 7 o'clock. There's stuff that's going to go out that you can get involved in. So if you are on social media, especially Twitter, watch out. I'll be retweeting it once it goes out. I don't actually know what it is yet. I've got an idea what it is, but there's been some rumours going around in message groups about stuff going out tonight. I mean, it's not like the Glazers are going to get sacked. It's just stuff fans can get involved in. James, thank you for that, by the way, James. And Mark, he didn't rotate when we had 4 away goals versus Sociedad. What makes you think he will now? We had a week gap, remember now, says Dipanka. Yeah, look, I don't... Dipanka, I'm not saying he's going to pick that team. All I'm saying is I think he should pick that team. We're playing against Villa 2.5 days after. We've got Leicester 3 days after that. We're basically playing 3 games in 6 days. Like Thursday night, Sunday and Wednesday. So, you know, you've got to think of it like that. 3 games in 6 days. Leicester's a massive game. Villa... And look, rank the games. This is why I'm saying he needs to make changes. It doesn't mean that he will, but rank the games in importance. Villa, Leicester, Roma. Roma's the least important game because we've got a 4-goal advantage. Then Villa, and then Leicester's the most important. So if you're going to rotate in the least important game. That's Roma. So I'll be stunned if he picks De Gea, Wan-Bissaka, Lindelof, Maguire, Shaw, McFred, Bruno, Pogba, Rashford and Cavani against Roma. I'll be stunned if he does it, considering he'll have to pick the same team against Villa 2.5 days later, and then the same team against Leicester 3 days later. If we go to the Europa League final and we're tired, or we've got injuries, then that's going to be because we've not rotated in these 3 games. And this is the game that he needs to rotate in. I'll be stunned if he doesn't, but I won't be surprised if that makes sense. Because, as I've said many times before, when we're talking about the team, tell me I'm wrong when I say that Ollie basically has got through this season of over 50 games with the same 13, 14 players. If you look at that team there, not that team there, if you think about the team, because he doesn't use Bay, Tellez and Van der Beek much, but basically, David De Gea, Wan-Bissaka, Lindelof, Maguire, Shaw, McFred, Bruno, Pogba, Rashford, Cavani, that's 11. Greenwood 12, Dean Henderson 13, Martial 14. They're basically the 14 players that he uses this season. He doesn't... Matic has hardly been used, Bay's hardly been used, Van der Beek's hardly been used, Tellez has hardly been used, and then you get into people like Dan James and Mata, Brandon Williams, Twan Sebi, who have been used even less. So, you know, he does tend to use the same 14 players. But we're at such a pivotal point of the season now. Let's use some of these players and trust them. I think it's really important. Spoke about Martial, spoke about 5. Show some trust, exactly. And, you know, welcome to the Members Club, Simon Gales. Appreciate that. Jose's the new coach of Roma. A lot of people talking about that. Yeah, Romano's confirmed that Mourinho will take over as Roma coach, but it's next season. He's not in... I think some people, for a moment, even I did when I read it, Mourinho's not in charge on Thursday. He's in charge next season of Roma. So we won't be playing Roma next season because we'll be in the Champions League and they won't. Although, I don't think they'll be in the Europa League either. So Roma are not going to have European football next season unless somebody tells me otherwise. So, yeah, Mourinho to take over at Roma. And look, you know what? I always do wish Mourinho well. I do. I think as a personality and as a manager, his box office, it's just football's crap. And I say crap. I mean, it's not. He's been very successful, but now it's boring. Like, he's not a Premier League manager. But I hope he does well at Roma. I do. I've got nothing against Mourinho in that sense. I hope he does well at Roma next season. But he's in the right league. If I can't make it there, I can't make it anywhere. It's up to you, Roma, Roma. Dun 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 dun. Yeah, if he can't make it in the Serie A, he may as well retire because I can't really see where else he would go to. I feel like he will do well there. To be honest, win the league, says Iago, and UEFA Conference League marks is Ricky. Yeah, they could be in that actually. How about Williams at right back? I mean, look, I think 7th is Europa qualifier, not 100%, says Robert McCormack. And welcome to Members Club, ISO Magic. Well, look, Mourinho will probably be given money by Roma next year, wouldn't they? You would imagine that he hasn't gone to that job without money being given to him. But yeah, it's going to be an interesting one in that sense. Sir Alex was at the Lowry today with PSG. DJ, we've got pictures of Sir Alex Ferguson on the United Stand at United Stand MUFC going to the Lowry. What would that be all about? I don't know, mate. I don't know. I've got no idea. I don't know. You go off your instincts. What do you think, Sir Alex Ferguson? I like this sort of question actually because I've got no answer. So, why do you think Sir Alex Ferguson was at the Lowry, considering the only football team there was PSG? My initial reaction was that he was going to have a chat with Poch because he likes Poch and they get on quite well. And maybe Sir Alex is always been a very sociable guy in relation to LMA and League Managers Association, etc. And I think him and Pochettino get on quite well. So I just thought maybe he'd just gone to have a chat with Poch. Nothing more sinister. Not like be the next United manager. Sir Alex Ferguson doesn't get referred to by the board. He's on the board, but he's not an active member of the board. They don't utilise his ability. So I don't think there was anything. And Sir Alex wouldn't be used for transfers. So I don't think it's anything more than that. I just went to... A says he went to punch Di Maria. Hey, Di Maria. Hey, come on. Yeah, I don't know about that. Scooby-Doo. Giving them tips to slap Man City, says Christian Lin. I think that he probably just went... I don't know. I think he probably went to have a chat with Poch because they get on quite well. I'm doing a watch-along for PSG versus Man City, by the way. United Stand will be live at 7 o'clock tonight. One of the big talking points tonight, don't miss the show, is going to be about De Gea. De Gea Henderson. There's still lots of talk that De Gea's going to go. Sam Johnston coming in. So a bit of a debate show about whether it's right for him to go or not. Remember what I've said about De Gea, though. Whether he's going or not, and look, that's down to Ollie. Don't lose sight of the fact that this is just another bad decision by Manchester United, PLC or whatever they're bloody called. Because he's not even 2 years into a 5-year deal, paying him 350k, 18 million a year. How much money are we going to lose on De Gea leaving this summer? Because everyone knows we want to sell him. We're going to lose loads of money on this one. That will just get hidden again. We lost 25 million the minute Herrera walked out the club because it's hidden money. Sanchez, up to 70 million lost on him across his contract. So there's hundreds of millions of pounds being lost that don't ever get mentioned. So that we'll be talking about De Gea tonight in a footballing sense, which is important. But yeah, so we're going to be live at 7 o'clock tonight on the United Stand, and I'll be live for the 8 o'clock kickoff on That's Football for PSG versus Man City. I hope PSG do win, yeah. I'm not going to keep that. Nothing wrong with that. I generally thought Jose would go to Roma as soon as he was fired from Tottenham. I just think for now his time in the Premier League is done. I don't think he'll be back in the Premier League, Adastra. I think he'd love to come back in the Premier League, but I just don't think he can. I don't think his brand of football works anymore. Hi Mark, what are your honest opinions on who we should buy and sell this summer? Would love to hear it. It's a Saint. My honest opinions on purchases would be Varane, Declan Rice, Sancho. I'd be very happy with that. And I'm Glazer's out. But I would have said that before the Super League. So I'm going to say it still now. I still think that should happen. Players I would sell. I think Lingard needs to go. That would be a bit of money coming in. Matic needs to go. Mata needs to go. Pereira needs to go. Delo needs to go. Phil Jones needs to go. One of the goalkeepers does need to go. Sadly, it looked like it could be De Gea, but one of them does have... I can't pretend that we need to keep both of them. One of them's got to go. And yeah, I mean, look, I'd love Pogba to sign a new contract. I think he'll go in a year. I think he'll run his contract down. I know not many people are saying this, but I've been saying it for a while. I really do think Pogba will run his contract down, which will be a toxic thing next season. Not on Pogba's part, not even Riola's part. If he's running his contract down, he's got a right to start talking about leaving. So, yeah, that's going to be a bit of a screw up. But I'm sure United will spin that into a way where it's not their fault. But yeah. But yeah, I think Sir Alex Ferguson was probably talking to Poch about maybe tactics, but probably just linking in with him. There's no career mode today, no, because there's a video on That's Football about the press reaction to the protests, and also I'm doing a Champions League watch along. I very rarely do more than one video on That's Football a day, so there's no career mode. I am doing a foot draft. I'm playing a bit of foot draft on Twitch, which is Goldbridge TV. It's about 20 to 4 today for an hour if you want to join me on that. But I'm not doing career mode today. That'll be back, I think, on Thursday afternoon, because there's another watch along tomorrow, isn't there? McFred to Roma. No, we won't. Fred or McTominay won't be going anywhere, and I don't think that they should. I don't think McFred should go anywhere. I think, for me, McTominay and Fred would be very good bench options, but I don't see them being. Ollie won't sell either of those two anyway. He wouldn't. But what about Chong? Well, yeah, he needs to go. He's not set the world on fire, has he? PSG will win. I think City will win, to be honest. Yeah, I do. Anyway, thanks everyone for watching. Please smash a like on the video. Make sure you subscribe. I will be on That's Football for PSG Man City. Mark Goldbridge, That's Football. We will be live again at 7 o'clock tonight, talking about De Gea and other things. And I'm going to be on Goldbridge TV on Twitch. Just check me out on Twitter at Mark Goldbridge. I'll drop the link when I'm live in about an hour. Thanks for watching. Take care. Stay safe. And look, you know what? Best of luck to Jose in Roma. In Rome. Best of luck. Doesn't. I mean that. So thanks everyone for watching. Speak to you soon.